Hey, everybody, we are live with the one, the only Steve Rizzo. I feel like I need one of those things that carries my voice.
Yeah, you did. But you did a decent job. Steve Rizzo.
Yeah, it's called castling in the music world. Did you know that?
It's what?
It's called castling.
Yeah, castling. Yeah, that's right.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't. And I don't care. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, my God.
You know, it was funny.
Wow.
I don't even know what's going on. You and I talking, and we're laughing our butts off, and you're going, oh, it's time to do the show.
And Steve's, I clicked the go live button, and Steve said something smart, and I almost went like this. Well, I was going to do a show with Steve tonight, but I don't know where he went.
What could I say, folks?
So, hey, Steve, we decided to do this. This is our very first episode of Conversations with Bob.
Yep.
And we have Jose Garza watching right now. Jose, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this out, because that's how he rolls. I didn't even get it out, and he already put shared. He shares
Thanks,
stuff
Jose.
out.
Appreciate it.
That's how he is, man. That's why his life is so blessed. I don't know who Facebook user is, but howdy right back to you. So we talked about doing this show called we didn't know what we were gonna call it, and we were talking. I said, why don't we call it what your book is titled, Conversations with Bob?
Yeah.
And you were like, but will anybody know what that means? And I said, no, but we'll just let them guess throughout the entire season of podcast episodes we do. Who in the hell is Bob?
Which I thought was really a dumb idea, but it's just like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. And every other comment, someone will go, well, who's Bob? We can't tell you. We plan on doing this for 20 years, and we'll tell you at the end of 20 years.
If you haven't figured that out after the first couple of episodes, you probably shouldn't be watching us.
Yeah, exactly. We should tell them. Want me to tell them who Bob is?
Yeah. So first, I want you to talk a little bit about, oh my gosh, Teodora is on here with us. Do you know Teodora?
Yes, I know of her.
Okay.
Yes.
So Teodora is part of the Grow Live Academy family, and she's been traveling all around the world lately. And so, yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you, Nick, for being here. Jay Fox, the inimitable Jay Fox, is here. Jay, it's so good to see you. So talk about and for anybody that hasn't seen this yet and hasn't got a copy, shame on you. I'm kidding.
No, really, shame on you.
Yeah, right. Conversations with Bob, that's Steve's latest book. You've written several books. And but let's talk about, number one, why you wrote that book, why it's titled what it's titled, and kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? Help me here. What the
Oh, you're the host. You deal with it.
I'm not really the host, but the what was the reason, the precipice, is that no? What's the reason cool.
The reason. That's a good. Don't try and use big words. Just say the reason.
I want to use big words so I can look smart.
Oh, good luck with that. Oh, geez, she's trying to create miracles.
Wow. Ouch.
Wow,
so talk about, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Ashik says the book is wonderful.
Thank you.
So talk about where it all started, why you decided to write this book. Tell everybody a little bit of your history.
Yeah.
Did you share this to your Facebook page, by the way, Steve?
Yes.
This.
Yes, this. Yes.
The actual live stream.
Yes.
Okay. So talk about where it all started.
It all started um, 7 years ago at a low point, probably one of the lowest points, if not the lowest point in my life. Was after a um, 30 some odd years of marriage. I ended the marriage. I wanted a divorce, and it was a very low point. And sometimes doing the right thing can be the most painful thing
Yep.
that you can ever do. And I decided to wake up one morning. My house was on Long Island, and I really felt like I was losing it. And I said to my wife, I said, I'm moving to California. And it was just the first thought that came to my head when I woke up in the morning. And she had said to me, you really need to see someone. Something's wrong. I said, I know something's wrong. I got to find out what it is. So I called some friends. They set me up with an apartment in Marina Del Rey, California. I stayed there for 2 years, and I knew I
And
had to face my
that
demons.
was seven. That was 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's when I started. Yeah, yeah.
Can I
And
point out that my personal shopper slash, she's not really a personal shopper, but Sandy is here from Saks Fifth Avenue. So say hi to Sandy.
Sandy, how are you?
So sorry,
Thank you for joining.
I felt like it was starting to get depressing. I'm kidding. No, it's not. So go.
Holy crap!
So then, anyway, I didn't know what I was going to do, and everything was a bummer.
So, oh man.
Oh,
So I moved to California, and I knew I had to face stuff. And I always work out. I always go to a gym, and I was working out at this 24-hour gym, and I'd go there like at 4 in the morning. And after my workout, I would walk on Venice Beach at around 5:30 in the morning. And that's not a safe thing to do, by the way. And I just lost it, and I started yelling and cursing at God, and all emotions. Everything was just heart wrenching. So I took a step, and I said, what the hell is wrong with me? And what the hell am I doing here? And I took another step, and I heard something within me say, you know why you're here, and you know what's wrong. You're just too way caught up in your drama to find the answer. And I went, what the heck was that? So I got in my car. I drove to my apartment, took up my laptop, took out a pad and a pen. I asked another question, and then another answer came. Then another question, and another answer. This went on for hours, Ken, hours. And I realized that I was talking to a higher part of myself. I was talking to God, and God was giving me the answers. No stuttering. By the way, God doesn't stutter. And
This is what you got to do.
anyway, so which was hard for me to type because I couldn't do that.
oh my god.
How do you type and stutter?
Oh
So
my god.
anyway, so I realized that I was talking to God. And after about 5 hours of writing, I let it go, and I went back the next morning, and I reread what I wrote, and I didn't remember writing it. So I
Wow.
kept going. And then it wasn't too long before I realized, man, I am writing a book here. So then my imagination kicked in, and then my sense of humor kicked in. And before you know it, I wrote this book called Conversations with Bob. Bob is God. And how he gets the name Bob, you're gonna have to buy the book and read it to find out. But it's an entertaining book, and it's a very profound book. And the only thing I'll say about that, I don't want to promote the heck out of the book because that's not what this show is about. But I will say this, and this is from what I heard from everyone that's purchased it so far. If you read this book from cover to cover, you will realize how much power you have over every aspect of your life. Because it's between two characters, Bob and Bernie. Bob, as I said, is your higher self. It's the God part of you that has the answers to all of your questions, solutions to all of your problems. And then there's your inner Bernie. He's the other character. Bernie lives in the negative zone. Bernie represents every person on this planet, regardless of race, religion, creed, or social status. Everyone experiences Bernie's negative emotions and negative thought patterns throughout various stages of their lives. And Bob tells Bernie how to turn his life around. And that's what the book is about, because Bernie is really, you can't get any lower than what he is.
So talk, and it's an unbelievably good book, by the way. And Jerry Eisenhower is on here, by the way. He is one of the people that is inconspicuously being Facebook user. But there are there are people, I'm sure this all went through your head as you wrote this book. There are people who could possibly see you calling God Bob as disrespectful against their religious belief system, um, whatever. Um, what do you, I mean, how do you handle that? How do you, because I think it's awesome. I don't think God has a name. I I think, you know, God is God. He's just he, she, it, whatever, um, is a love, a force of love, this spiritual energy, this power that the creator. Um, but I think though that people will have a misconception or perceive it as wrong,
Sacrilegious. Yeah.
sacrilegious. See, I know you could
Blasphemy.
pull out one of those $5.
And you know what? And I had that concern for a while, but then, you know, the way Bob works sometimes, I had dinner a couple of years ago with this gentleman. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's very well known. He's an evangelist, and we became very close friends. And he asked me to send him. I told him what I was doing with this book, and he had asked me to send him a copy of it before the book was even released. So I did. I sent it, you know, I sent it out to him.
Yeah.
And we met again a couple of weeks later in the city. And he's a very wealthy man. And we're having breakfast, and I knew he read it. And, you know, he's not saying anything. And I'm going, oh, crap, he didn't like it. So,
yeah.
And so as he's eating and he's sipping his coffee, he goes, so I read the book, and there was a pause, a long pause. And I went, and?
Yeah.
And this is what he said. I loved it. He goes, there are non-believers out there that need to read this book. He goes, you have a way of talking about what God is all about as a friend, as a companion that you can talk to. And he does have all the answers. And you put it on such a level where people will just look at this entity that's within all of us from a totally different perspective. He said, I do believe you might have some people that won't, you know, get it or want to get it. And then he introduced me to another friend of his who was also very religious. And this is not a religious book. I mentioned that in the book. It's a spiritual book, but it's not a religious book. And this gentleman read the book too, and he flipped out over it. He told me this book is a page turner. And he goes, he loved the humor in it, but more than anything, he loved the message. He loved the message.
You know, I think, and by the way, Kellen Ann, hey, Kellen Ann, she's watching.
We love Kellen.
Jay Fox didn't want you to bring him up, apparently. Cat's out of the bag. So, and thank you for sharing, Kellen. So, and for those of you that haven't shared, the only question I have is why? Why not? So
I love the way he do things.
So if I were to like coach you, that would be funny. That would be funny first. But I would say, dude, just tell people why it's Bob, because like they'll buy the book still. Just tell them.
Okay. So, all right. I'll tell them. So Bernie, the book starts, and I have to go this whole thing. As I said, he lives in the negative zone. He's in this hotel, and he's doing nothing but complaining as to why his life isn't working. He's in his mid-50s, and he's tired of the traveling. He's tired of getting screwed. He blames society. He blames people. And he gets so upset in his hotel room, and he has a heart attack. And the scene changes, and they're operating on him, and his spirit rises, and he's looking down on himself, and he realizes when they put the cover on, he thinks he's dead, and he winds up in this place that he thinks is heaven. And this is where it starts getting kind of funny and stuff too. And,
it gets, hold it. It is hilarious. I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It really is funny.
Oh,
it really is. I know it really is funny.
Yeah.
I know.
That part
So,
you got to buy the book for because we can't go through all that. It's a lot, but it is so
I know.
freaking detailed and funny. And I gotta say, my wife is watching, and I think you're gonna like the way that I say this guy's name. Eric Bam is
The
watching.
Bam Man.
Like, how do you not say Bam every time you say
That's
his
what I
last
call him.
name?
Bam Man. The Bam Man.
Eric
Eric.
Bam. Love that. So Cynthia Mannion is here. If I can get this thing to click, there we go.
Hello, Cynthia.
So so go ahead. I interrupted you, but I wanted
That's
to.
okay. I'm used to it.
Wow. What the heck? All right, hey, I'm just gonna.
Wow, that's a good question. Steve, is Conversations with Bob the Steve Rizzo story? Yes, in certain ways, Bernie is me, but albeit exaggerated. As I said, Bernie represents everyone who falls into the negative zone throughout various stages of their lives. Some people more than others, and that's why this book is palatable for anyone who's having problems with relationships, personally, professionally, doesn't feel they have enough money, doesn't feel this book can help you to get to where you need to go. So
it's all true. All that's true.
So anyway, so at the beginning of the book, he meets this guy that's the gatekeeper who wants, and this guy says, I want to talk. I want to talk to the big guy. And he goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, I want to talk to the light, the force, the universe. I want to talk to the higher self, the authentic self. Look, pal, whatever you call this person here, I want to talk to God. So the gatekeeper goes, well, we call him the big kahuna up here. So he goes, well, if it doesn't matter what you call him, then I'll just call him Bob then. And that's how he gets the name. So when he meets Bob in his office, he realizes, and he says, oh my God, you're God. I am so sorry about the Bob thing. And God says to him, he goes, no, I like the name Bob. Let's use this for a while because it's more relatable. People will think that I'm a friend, which I am. And when they talk to me, they don't think they're talking to someone distant. I want them to know that I'm within you and I hear everything that you're saying. So he keeps the name Bob throughout the whole entire book. Thusly, with Bob.
What I love about it,
it's pretty ingenious, actually.
Can I call you dude, or it's pretty good?
You've been calling me dude for months now. Yeah,
I know. So and Eric, I have to concur with his sentiments as well. I love Steve. So I'm just going to bring it up. Everybody knows I'm in recovery. I'm a recovered alcoholic. If I make it until August the 10th, I'll have 20 years sober. Now, that's not to brag or boast or anything. I'm very proud of it that I've stayed sober all these years, and I'm so grateful. And I know my wife and 2 daughters are grateful. So that being said, in the recovery movement, there is this thing where when you come into recovery, you have to pick a higher power. Like, you literally have to pick a higher power. You have to believe in a power greater than you, because your best thinking got you a seat in recovery. So there's got to be something greater than you. You have to pick a higher power. And what I love about this is it's almost like it's it's very non-secular. It's very non-religious. It's Bob. Bob is your buddy, your friend, your pal, your confidant, your everything. And that's what we encourage people in recovery to say, hey, it doesn't matter. I had this kid I sponsored, and he liked my Mercedes a lot. And he said, I can't believe in this God thing. And I said, well, dude, then you're screwed. Like you're gonna die then, probably drinking yourself to death if you don't find a higher power, because it's
That's
what
right.
you're doing isn't working for you. And he's like, well, I like your Mercedes. Can I call that my higher power? I go, dude, whatever works for you, man. Like, do whatever works for you. Eventually, it's all gonna. It's I call my higher power God today. But
Yeah.
I think that it's brilliant, man. I really do. I think it's brilliant, and the book is so well written. It really is funnier than hell.
I appreciate you saying that, but what you were saying is that I think there within lies the problem with religion and spirituality, because especially with the younger people, is that they're we religion preaches a God that's out there somewhere. What are you laughing at? Eric, don't you have something to do? See, that's why nobody likes you. All right.
Oh my God.
This is
Oh,
my
that's
best
funny.
T-shirt.
Oh, that is so funny.
This is my best T-shirt.
He already told you he's from Long Island. I mean, come on.
Hey, what is that? Hey, what is that supposed to mean?
Right. Right.
Don't let the Brooklyn come out of me now, okay?
Olga, I think I said, didn't I say I'm recovered? I'm a recovered alcoholic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And by
Anyway,
the way, I've had a lot of people say what you said, Ken. I've gotten emails, people that read the book and said, some of the rules and the steps that you folks take in Alcoholics Anonymous is a lot of the stuff is in the book.
It is.
Yeah. So, but I think that's the problem with religion today, is that people don't know what to believe because there are so many different religions. And, I've heard somebody say to me not too long ago, as a young person, said, well, why are there so many different religions if there's only supposed to be one God? And I said, you have to find it for yourself. And if you really want, the best way to find it is search within. All you have to do is talk to this higher power. The answers come in so many different ways. And you won't necessarily hear a voice, but the answer comes. You have to be able to let go and use your imagination.
Our buddy Glenn Morshower, who I believe you just met in Dallas for the first time, right?
Yeah.
He's brilliant, man. Brilliant. One of my dearest friends in the world. And, he talks a lot. Him and I have talked about this. We've talked about it on the air. We've talked about this book called Power versus Force. And it's an incredible. Have you ever read this book?
No.
It's unbelievable, but to very poorly summarize the book, he says that anytime you push anything, it's a universal principle. Anytime you push, you create resistance. Real power comes when you just surrender to whatever it is. Just surrender. Have you ever been there? Like I know you have, where you're like, I don't know what to do. I can't pay this bill. I can't do that. I can't figure this out. And you just go, you know what? Just forget it. I surrender.
Yeah. Because the more you go on that negative rampage, as some people call negative self-talk, I call it self-curse talk. And that's what Bob calls it in the book too. It's self-curse. You're casting a spell on your life and you're making a challenging situation worse than what it has to be. Why isn't my life working? Why is it that every time I try something, I always go 2 steps up and 5 steps back? Why does everybody have what I want? And it's that type of thing. And what you're doing, that's the law of attraction in action. And in the law of attraction is saying to you, okay, if this is what you want, because this is what you're spewing out, the more of that you're going to get back. So in other words, the more you focus on your lack, the more of that you're going to get back. The more you focus and complain about what isn't working, the more your life won't work. And that's why people stay stuck in that syndrome.
Totally agree, man. Totally agree. It's amazing.
So
that's the premise of this book. That's what I don't know that you finished telling why you wrote the book or where it all, did you?
Yeah. Basically, I started writing it because of where I was in my life, and all of a sudden, all these other questions started coming out. Hi, Steve Rizzo and Ken Walls, two of my
It's
favorites.
Sandra Spurgeon.
Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Sandy.
Do you remember Sandra?
Yes,
Okay, good.
absolutely.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Love her.
And yeah, so the book just took on a life of its own. And I just realized that I'm in this zone. Every time I got in front of my laptop or a pad, I was actually asking questions. And you know what? When I started writing again, I didn't have chapters figured out. I didn't have any of that. I did that years later. And what was really funny, the reason why it took me 7 years is that every single time I thought I was finished, Bob said, "No, you're not." And it was very obvious that he was saying, "No, you've got more stuff to experience. There are more things that you need to learn." And it was a learning process and a healing process for me as much as it is for everyone that reads it. And which made me realize that we are all connected somehow, some way. It's not a coincidence that you and I got together.
Mm-mm.
There's no coincidence at all that we became close friends. What, within a month and a half?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I learned from writing this book more than anything, is that there are no coincidences and everything happens for a reason. And there is a higher power. And it connected me to so many people in my life that I realized how much we all have in common and how we all have crap to deal with, every one of us. It doesn't matter how much money you have. We all have crap to deal with. Everybody does. And it's a matter of how you deal with this crap. What are you going to do with it? And which is one of the principles in the book. You are the creator of your success and happiness. You are the only problem you will ever have. And somewhere within you, there is always a solution waiting to be discovered.
You know, at the event that you just spoke at with me down in Dallas, and Sandra was a speaker. God gives us who we need if we only allow it. Yes,
that's key, Sandra. We got to allow it. And sometimes we pray for something and we think the prayer is supposed to happen the way we think it's supposed to happen. And the whole time the prayer is being answered, because you don't notice it, that seed possibility gets crushed and you're the one that squashed it. You didn't even give it a chance for that seed possibility to take root, to manifest into what you were asking for. Thank you for that statement, Sandra. Appreciate that.
So, and Eric, I'm going to ask about Eddie Murphy. I first want to talk about this other story, and because it kind of is along the line. You said it doesn't matter how much money you have. I know for a fact, right? It does not matter. I know people with a lot of money that are not happy. I know people with a lot of money that are happy and they're doing good things with that money and helping the world. But I know people with millions and millions of dollars that aren't genuinely happy. And it always makes me think, man, like I feel like you're missing the point to life. Like, I feel like you're really missing the point. It starts with gratitude, being grateful for where you are and what you have and all of that. But you told a story, and I don't know if you're able to tell this story again. But it was a story about you, and you were having a conversation with Rodney. Are you able to tell that story?
Sure. You want me to tell? It's an extensive story, if you don't mind me telling it.
Well, I think it can. I'm talking about when he's sitting at the bar and Rodney Dangerfield.
I have to set the whole thing up, though.
Yes, I want you to. I want you to tell this story because it's exactly what you just said.
Yeah, exactly. So all
right. We're talking about Rodney Dangerfield, everybody,
and we're talking about putting your happiness on hold, and we're talking about it's not about wealth, it's not about fame, it's not about fortune. It's about focusing on what you're grateful for and the things that life has given you, and rather than cursing what life is currently throwing at you. And it has to do with when I was giving my presentation where Ken heard that, I made a statement that the biggest disease in this country is unhappiness. And the reason why most people are unhappy is because they're putting their happiness on hold. they keep creating this mindset that I won't be happy until I achieve the goal. I'll be happy when I get to where I want to go. And when you're doing that, what you're saying is that happiness is dependent upon something that has to take place at some point in the future. And that's insane, because happiness will always be steps ahead of you. And there are people, and I know a lot of the people listening right now, when you start your week off and you're at work and you start saying to yourself, this is going to be one of those days. Nothing seems to be working. The whole week is going to be like this. I just know it. And then you say to yourself, okay, I'll be happy when the weekend gets here. You know what? Right now, nothing's going the way I want at this place. No one appreciates what I do and how much money and that I've invested in this and all the time I put in. So when the weekend gets here, I'm just going to enjoy myself. Now, your subconscious runs 97% of your life. Your subconscious is the genie of your soul. Whatever you program into it, it will say to you, okay, your wish is my command. So if you're saying you won't be happy until the weekend gets here, the genie of your soul is saying, okay, I can wait until the weekend until you want to be happy. And if you want to wait, that's fine with me. So when the weekend gets there, as some wise guy said in one of my workshops, said, yeah, well, won't I finally be happy when the weekend gets here? No, you won't. And here's why: because that mindset will stay with you. That mindset will come with you when the weekend gets there. And then you're going to find yourself saying, man, if I could just get the kids out of the house and if I could have some peace and quiet just for one day, then I could be happy. My point is that you will always find something that's not going to make you happy. So I'll set that up. In 1986, I was headlining Rodney Dangerfield's comedy club every single weekend in 1986. And this was when Rodney was at the pinnacle of his career. He was voted one of the top 3 recognizable faces. He was, hey, Craig, I love you too. He was voted one of the top 3 recognizable faces in the country, #1 comedian in the country. You couldn't get any more powerful than he was. He had 2 hit movies in that 2-year span in 86 and 87.
Yeah.
2 movies, Ken. One was rated, I think, a 9 out of 10. The other one was 10 out of 10. And he was on the Tonight Show every other week. And he had 2 HBO specials under his belt. And this was a Saturday night. The place is packed with movie stars and sports figures. There are 3 shows. This is the 3rd show. I end my set. I go to get off the stage. And who comes walking on the stage as I'm walking off but Rodney himself. And he's typical Rodney. Hey, how you doing, baby? All right. You're doing okay, kid? Hey, I love you. Standing ovation. The crowd is going ballistic. Now, these are movie stars, you know, just like little kids. And they're all screaming, Rodney, Rodney, Rodney. And then it went to, we love you, we love you. And I'm standing in the back of the room and I'm going, whoa, this is insane. It was deafening in that room. So he waits because he's such a pro. The crowd dies down. They sit down. He does 10 minutes of new material for his new HBO special that's coming up in about another month. And when he finished his set, he thanked them for supporting his club and asked them to give me another big round of applause. So they did. And he goes to walk off the stage and something happened, Ken, that I've never seen before. And I doubt if I will ever see it again. Everybody that was up front. Now, there were some sports figures sitting up front and movie stars. They all circled the stage, interlocked their arms, and they wouldn't let him get off the stage. And they were screaming, we want more. We want more. You're #1. It was insane. The noise was louder than what it was when I first went up. There was a ringing in my ears. It took his bodyguard and 2 waiters to get him off the stage. They finally got him off. And I remember standing in the back of the room saying, oh my God, this guy is a mega, mega superstar. This is what it's like to be a superstar. He's got the world in the palm of his hands. But it wasn't too soon after that where I realized holding the world in the palm of your hands isn't what's important. What's important are the choices that you make as you're holding it. Because, Ken, the night was over. The crowd was gone. The doors are locked. The wait staff is cleaning up. And I go over to the bar with Rodney, as I so often did. And I gave him a big kiss on the cheek. And I said, hey, man, how does it feel to be a superstar? He downs a triple scotch, looks at me square in the face and goes, well, I'll tell you, Stevie, it sucks. And he went on this verbal rampage, this negative rampage of how the entertainment industry ruined his career and how he should have made it 40 years ago when he was younger. He was about maybe 59 at the time. And I didn't know what to say. I took a couple of moments and I gave him a pep talk. And I looked at him and I said, Rodney, didn't you hear that crowd? They loved you. You're a household name. Most comedians your age now, people don't even know who they are. You have 2 HBO specials under your belt. You're on a Tonight Show every other week. You have 2 hit movies rated a 9 or a 10. What else do you want? And he said, I don't expect you to understand. He downed another triple scotch. He said, all I know, Stevie, is that I sacrificed my entire life for this moment to happen. I put my happiness on hold for this moment, sacrificed my family, my kids, everything for this moment to happen. He goes, what really upsets me, he goes, I'm finally here and I still can't enjoy myself. I'm telling you, it sucks. Now, here's a guy, and this is the lesson. Here's the guy that should have been living his dream, don't you think?
Yeah.
Instead, he was living a nightmare. All because years ago, this is what I want everybody to get, he created a mindset, a belief system that literally signified, I cannot and I will not be happy until I reach a certain status in life. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. His subconscious, the genie of his soul, said, your wish is my command. And here's the irony, Ken. Even though he did achieve it, and probably so much more than he ever fathomed, he still couldn't enjoy himself. And here's why. Because if your journey towards your goal is polluted with any kind of negative energy at all, be it jealousy, envy, despair, self-doubt, overwhelm, anger, hatred, you're only going to create the same result when the goal is achieved. Why? Because that crap comes with you.
Yep.
This is why people say happiness is a choice. And here's what, and I'll end with this. Folks, I don't care how old you are. I don't even know who's all listening here, but there is no reason. Think about what it is that you're trying to achieve right now at this point in your life, whatever it may be. Personal goal, professional goal. If your journey towards that goal is polluted with this negative energy, that result is going to come with you wherever you go. There's no reason why you can't make a conscious choice at this moment to say to yourself, yes, there's going to be challenges. Yes, it may seem like I may not get there. I'm going to have these difficult times, but you know what? That's life. Crap happens. What are you going to do about it? Make that choice on your journey. When you're feeling like that, shift your focus and your way of thinking to what is working with your life. Bless the things that life has given you rather than cursing what life hasn't given you. By doing this on a consistent basis, you'll be creating a different habit, and it'll make life a lot easier on your journey towards the goal. We all have the power to do this. And if you say you don't, you're right. Even if it isn't true, you're right. And you just created your own reality.
Brilliant on every level. And I got to tell you that and look at what Sandra is saying. I can literally shift my mindset by calling out my own negativity. You know, I gotta say that I think that a lot of people will say, you know, they're having a conversation one-on-one with somebody, and they say, oh, I just, you know, I can't figure it out, and blah, 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 blah. And they just want that other person to respond and validate them or pump them up, but they don't understand that they're putting negativity out into their space.
Yes.
And whether you're looking for validation or not, stop looking for validation. Be grateful. One of the best things I ever learned how to do was write a gratitude list, like daily, every single day. Write down the things that I'm grateful for. Write down positive I am statements about myself. Really catch myself thinking and especially speaking negatively. And people don't get that. They're so programmed to look for that validation through other people because maybe their mom was negative or whatever. So they're just doing the same thing, right?
But the thing is, Ken, is that these people that are negative aren't even aware of what they're doing to themselves. It has become a part of their personality. And Sandra was right. You got to call out your own negativity, because that means you're becoming aware of what you're doing to yourself. You can't fix something unless you know it's broken. You can't turn negativity around unless you know you're being negative. But most people don't even know they are. Most people start their days off with a very low mindset because as soon as they wake up, they keep focusing on the grueling day they had the day before, all the crap they had to deal with, and all the stuff that they think is going to be the same on that coming day. And they can't understand when they're walking around with their energy level down here. Think about what has to be done on any given day. Your energy level has to be cranked, and that's your choice and your responsibility.
Was it who was it just recently? It might have been you. I can't remember if it was you or not, talking about the number of days you have left on this planet. Somebody
that was Ramey.
Oh, it was Ramey. That's right. In the Grow Live Academy.
Yeah.
If you really think about that, man, I mean, that's deep, and it's so true.
Yeah.
And when you look at, like, okay, if the average age of a person in America is what, 78, I don't know what it is, but I know it's somewhere in that ballpark. And you just start multiplying how many days are in a year times the difference between where you are now and that number, the average, man, that really puts it into perspective. Like, it really
but
does.
you don't want to wallow in that either, because you just focus on the time that you have left and go forward from that point on.
That's right. I agree.
And otherwise you're gonna, you could really psych yourself out of that one. One of the best interviews you've had, Ken. So empower. Oh, thank you.
So this is not an interview, really.
No, this is our show.
This is our show. This is our new show. We're doing conversations.
We're doing this every week,
every Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And this was Ken's idea to call the Conversations with Bob, because everything that we're talking about is related somehow to that higher part of us. Everything we're talking about, it all comes from here. Your worst of you and your best of you comes from here. When I mean worst of you, that means you're going through your life not connecting to this part of yourself. And if you're not, things are going to go wrong, and it'll be impossible to turn it around unless you know and become aware of what you're doing to yourself.
Jay says, "Excuse me." Who was that? That was
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Did you ever meet him?
Excuse me. No, never met him.
Never met Steve Martin?
No, I met a lot of heavy people. You know that Chris Rock used to open for me and all those guys. I knew them before they were famous, but
Talk about that, because here in a year I'm going to be like, yeah, Steve Rizzo used to open for me.
That's pretty funny. No, I had what do you say? Chris Rock opened for me, Rosie O'Donnell, Drew Carey, Dennis Miller, Seinfeld opened for me once. Who are these people? Remember when I was doing that? What's wrong with you? Don't you know anything? You're crazy. There's something wrong with you. Kramer, I can't do that.
Oh my God, that is so funny, dude.
And that was the first time I ever did a Seinfeld impression. And I said, in the middle of the lobby in the hotel. What's wrong with me? What do you ask me to do this impression for?
I said, man, you are so good at impressions. And he goes, thanks. And I said, can you do Seinfeld? And just out of nowhere, here it comes. That is so funny. Holy crap.
Oh, that's great. Lord. That's great.
So, and you've written some other books. Let's talk about number one. You've had Eddie Murphy. You have a really funny story with Eddie Murphy sitting in the audience. But can you tell that story and keep it appropriate?
No,
probably not.
No, I can't say the punchline because I know you want it really clean.
Oh
And,
yeah, we can't do that
no, we
punchline.
can't. We can't do that.
No.
All I know, all I could say is that there were 12 adult movie stars, porn stars in the audience at the Comedy Store, and they were heckling all the comedians, and they were wasted. They were partying way too much. So when usually that happens, Mitzi Shaw, the owner of the Comedy Store,
Who's Pauly Shore's mother?
that's Pauly Shaw's mother. Yeah. Can you impersonate Ken Walls next week? Yeah, I probably could, Craig. I'll figure that out.
You better not. I'll
Yeah.
impersonate you.
I'll impersonate you.
I'll have to shave my head.
So anyway, to make a long story short, and I'm going to cut the language out. Anyway, so I went up, and because Mitzi Shaw always had me go up when there were hecklers to handle the hecklers, and I was very good at it. So I said something to Amber Lynn, one of the adult porn stars, and it was really hardcore what I said to her, and
it was really hardcore.
Oh, it was real, and it was sold out crowd. And as soon as I said it, I heard Eddie Murphy in the back going. And I go, Eddie, is that you? And I hear, and all 12 of the porn stars walked out as they were all walking out. And I'm yelling at them, I'm saying, I told you I was going to embarrass you. You should have heeded the warning.
I mean, you nail Eddie Murphy, man. That is so good. Holy crap.
I've been blessed with the people that I knew and met, and I knew him well. And
did you really?
Yeah, you kidding? Geez, we started out in Long Island together. He was 18 years old, 17 when he started going to the clubs. He wasn't allowed, but he was so good. As a matter of fact, you know, it's almost a complete opposite of Rodney Dangerfield. You want to talk about confidence? I'll tell this story if you don't mind. This is a great Eddie Murphy story.
Yeah.
First of all, he was so connected to the law of attraction. He was the epitome of
Eddie?
how the law of attraction works. Yes. He had a persona on and off that stage for an 18-year-old that was very uncanny. I'm 13 years older than him. And I was doing stand-up part-time because I was teaching full-time. In the clubs in Long Island I was going, and we became pretty close friends. And one day, this is the confidence this guy had. His intention was insane. He never drank. He never did drugs. And he loved and enjoyed the process of what he did. He loved it.
Wow.
So after the first show on a Saturday night, we were both headlining the room. There's 3 comedians in the green room, me, Eddie, and another guy named Frankie. And we're talking about what we want to do with our lives. And Eddie asked Frankie, what do you want to do with your life? And Frankie goes, well, I'd like hopefully I can quit my full-time job and maybe, do this full-time. And if I get a break and it was all nothing concrete, it was all maybe and hopefully. And so then Eddie goes, Steve, what about you? And I was a little bit better than Frankie. I was like, well, I'm going to be quitting the school system soon, and I'm going to do this full time. And my goal will be to headline clubs throughout the country. And, I think I'm good enough where I can get blah, blah, blah. So I said, Eddie, what about you? He stands up, he looks at me, and he looks at Frankie. And with the utmost confidence, he says, guys, I'm going to be to comedy to what the Beatles were to music.
Wow.
And he said it with such positivity. We didn't think it was his ego talking. We didn't think he was sarcastic. He said it as if he had a crystal ball and he saw his life unfold. And it was not even a year after that where that happened. And he was selling out big arenas. And he became an overnight sensation on Saturday Night Live. And that wasn't just Eddie, that moment in that room. That was him 24/7, honing in on his craft, asking all the other comedians, what do you think of this bit? Can I do this, or should I shift this? Always studying himself. And he also said he was going to do a movie with Robert De Niro, and he did.
What do you think? Because what you're talking about is he was very intentional.
The power of intention.
Yes. So, and I know I'm going to ask a series of rhetorical questions, but did you know I was going to do that? See what I did there? So
what are you doing?
So what stops people from being intentional? That is so important.
They don't think we're good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. Ken, I had that problem in my life for more than half my life. I was voted least likely to succeed in high school. You know that. I was told by a guidance counselor, this is hardcore stuff. I was smart enough at some point to realize where these negative labels were coming from. So how could I have intention in something and confidence when I had this innate belief that I wasn't good enough, smart enough, worthy enough? You can't have intention. The only intention I had was the intention going the negative way. I sabotaged great things that were happening to me because I didn't think I was good enough. For most of my comedy career, people kept saying, you're going to be the next one. You're going to be the next one. They believed in me because guess what, Ken? I didn't believe in me. And that's when I went on a quest to better myself. You know that part of the story. But that's why people don't have it, because there's something within them that stems somewhere from their past that's telling them. Remember what I said about your subconscious? It's the genie of your soul. It runs 97% of your life.
Yeah.
If you don't think you're good enough, life will throw crap at you over and over again to prove to you that you're not, until you finally take a stand against life itself and against the negative labels and against what your subconscious has done, and reprogram yourself. That's what you have to do.
I think, you had, when you decided to leave comedy and go into motivational speaking, you had a roommate at the time. You want to tell everybody who your roommate was?
My roommate was Drew Carey.
Drew Carey.
Sweetheart of a guy. Drew Carey was a great guy.
Super guy.
And as a matter of fact, Ken, he knew that for about a year or two that I started studying the self-help stuff. I was going to sleep with headphones. I went to Tony Robbins seminars.
Yeah.
And I was just, my belief in myself was so intense. And even people that I haven't seen in a while go, you're different. You seem different. What is it? And I knew what it was. I just didn't know how to explain it to them. And ironically, what was happening then is all of a sudden the entertainment industry was coming at me and was interested. But something weird happened. I was no longer interested in them. I had this calling to do something else. And it was this one night when I came home, because Drew Carey was my roommate. I had an audition for a big, I think it was some kind of movie that was out or something. And he goes, how did your audition go? I said, it went really well. He goes, what do you want to do for dinner? I said, Drew, you do what you want. I said, I'm going home. I'm leaving next week. And we had a big argument. He said, how could you leave? You're so close. And I said, how can I be close to something that I don't want anymore? He goes, well, you're not going to do that speaking crap, are you? And I said, yes, whatever it takes. And I did it. I called my wife. I said, I'm coming home. She's the only one that knew what I was going through. But I was sabotaging my success as a comedian because I didn't think I was smart enough or good enough. Every time there was a big audition somewhere, I made an excuse not to go to the audition. And when I realized what was happening and all my opening acts, the Chris Rocks and the Seinfelds and all these people, Rosie O'Donnell, were getting these breaks. And I'm like, why is an opportunity knocking on my door? And I realized I was just afraid to open the door. I was afraid of fear and success. Talking about not being able to make up your mind, huh? So that's my life in a nutshell, man. I have no regrets. I have no regrets because of speaking. This book right now is why I was placed on this planet. And I had to go through all of this shit, all of this crap first in order for me to tell people who are or in that zone that I was in. And parts of me still, I have to overcome it, but I'm aware that it's there and I'm in control of it. But that's why I'm put on this planet. Because if I didn't go through that stuff, I wouldn't be put in a position where I could help people to turn their lives around. And it doesn't matter how old you are. As someone said in one of my workshops too, said, well, you know how old I'll be when I finally get this together? I said, yeah, the same age you'll be if you don't start doing it now. That's your choice. That's your choice.
And people do that, man. People do that. People, I mean, I've done it. We've all done it.
Yep.
We put off. Go ahead.
That's what I mean when I say, as Bob says to Bernie, you are the creator of your success and happiness. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's not what happens to you. It's what you do about what happens. I suggest to anyone that's listening right now, if your life isn't working, just go on a quest to find out who you are. Start asking yourself questions, because when you do that, that higher part of you is going to answer you. Your authentic self. That's the part that's going to answer you. Thank you, Facebook user.
What do you think about these? There's election cycles and politics and religious beliefs and there, all of the things that you're not supposed to talk about. I want to talk about, like, how do you? I'll find myself getting sucked into the vortex of politics. Now, it only happens for 5 minutes at a time, and I'll be like, no, I gotta get no. And I listen, man, I'm as good as anyone on this planet at getting fired up and into a heated political discussion. I'm really, really good at it. But I do believe that the more you engage, not just in conversations with other people, but the more you engage your mind in all of that crap, the more you experience crap in your life.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
Yes. And there are people that lead crappy lives because of that.
Yeah.
They can't, they're not aware of what they're doing to themselves. It has become a part of their personality. And they take it everywhere they go, whether they're at a bar or at a restaurant or they're at someone's house or at a friend's house, and they start talking. Their opinion has to come out. It's the same old negative stuff.
Yep.
The same, it's a mindset that we all create. We create our own mindsets. It may come from outside sources, but you're the one that's seeping it in through your own thought process from that thing that we call a brain. We create our own mindsets. And that's where people who are having a tough time succeeding or being happy, they're the first ones to say, it's not me, it's the other person. It's life. I never got a break. There's no such thing as lucky breaks. You make your own luck. Yep. You make your own luck. It's a matter of what you think. It's your thought process that will eventually create your belief system.
So true, man. So true. I hope people get that. Dude, we have already been on here for 58.5 minutes. That's insane.
Wow.
That went like that.
I think this is going to be a good show, dude.
I do too, man. I do too. And I thank everybody for being on here.
Yeah.
We're going to do this every Sunday night, unless one of us is, or both of us are traveling. That could be a Sunday night that we don't make it, but I would say at least 95% of the time we're going to be here on Sunday evenings, and we're going to bring positivity. We're going to bring conversations with Bob to everybody that shows up.
I would also like to add too, Ken, you tell me if you agree. If you have questions throughout the show, we would like to answer the questions. This is all about everyone it's a learning process for everyone, for Ken and I, for all the viewers, all the people that are here now tonight.
Not me, not me, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
yes, yes, it is going to be a great show. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate that. It
Thank
really
you.
is. It's all common sense. What we're talking here, which is what Bob says to Bernie in the book: common sense strategies. We're born with common sense strategies. We're innate. We all have them, folks. It's just that we get so caught up in the crap of life that we're not aware that we can tap into this part of ourselves, let alone how to use it and make it work for us. It's all there. And that's why it's called Conversations with Bob, because we all have this higher part. You can call it what you want. It's all about the good, the stuff that brings us up and the stuff that takes us down all the time.
And how to avoid that, you know,
and how to avoid it.
I know people that say that oh, I turned off the news years ago, I don't watch it, but they're addicted to looking at negativity on YouTube and again, I think that whatever you're feeding your mind, what's the acronym GIGO, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
So whatever you feed your mind with, it's going to manifest in your life. It just is. And it's not like, I don't know how to say this. You know, Jack Canfield wrote that book right there with Janet Switzer, and it's called The Success Principles. And the success principles, the very first principle in that book is take 100% responsibility for everything in your life.
Yep.
And it's the most important thing. And that means paying attention to what you're putting in your ears and your eyes and your brain and everything that you're consuming spiritually, emotionally. Take responsibility for that. If you've got somebody that's on the right side and they're, you know, just shoving their opinions down your throat, that's negative. Even if you think they're right and you agree with them, it's still negative, because they have to point out the negatives in life to get their point across, which is what the news does. So turn off all that nonsense and let's be positive about everything that we're doing. Everything.
Yep.
And Sandra wants to know when I'm moving to Dallas. Sandra, I've been having this conversation in my house literally every day. My wife is on here and she will confirm that every day I talk about moving to Dallas. It's going to happen. It is going to happen.
Dallas is a great place.
I know. I love Dallas. It was hot though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why don't you move? Live next door to me on Long Island, Ken.
Well, that's a wrap, folks.
What's wrong with you? We could be neighbors. I'll be knocking on your door. I want some coffee. Come on, wake up. I ran out of coffee. I ran out of Starbucks.
Oh my God. Oh, we got to get, you know who we need to bring on the show one night is we need to get Pat Hazel on with us.
Oh, I love Pat Hazel.
That would be fun to have him on and have you do your Seinfeld.
Every day I could, if you were my neighbor, every door I can knock on your door with a different voice. Hey, Ken, can you do me a favor? My lawnmower broke, and if you took a look at my grass, it looks pretty bad.
Jill wants to know if you can do Drew Carey.
Actually, I used to be able to do a good Drew. How'd your audition go? I forgot. I'll get that down. I will get that next time, Jill.
Yeah. Well, you probably gotta go listen to him again just to get it. So look, Jay Fox lives in Dallas. He said our neighbor's house is for sale. So listen, we wanted to keep this right at 1 hour, and
we got it.
Are Craig said sorry, had to jump on a call. Are you guys still here? We are at the past the top of the hour, so make sure that you Oh, she said get him on the show with us. Oh, that would be
Who?
fun. Drew Carey.
Oh, yeah. Well, good luck with that. And I
Why?
got something to say to Craig. Hey, Craig, you got a phone call and you leave us? Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
What's that all about? I mean,
What's
really?
that all about? I thought we were
Come on.
friends.
He said, love you guys.
Oh, yeah. I love you guys all of a sudden. What's wrong with you? See, Craig, that's why nobody likes you. All right.
That's so funny.
Rizzo, I got to make a phone call.
Oh, you keep being you, Steve. You got to keep up your New York perspective, but you can stay at my house in Texas.
Oh, that's an invitation. Thank you.
He said it was my drummer son, more important than you guys. Okay, that's
My
good.
drummer son. That's a great
Jill
way to describe
said, Jill said, you are way more famous than Drew. That is so true. So true.
That was wonderful to say. Thank you. But I'm not. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you are. So listen, everybody, thanks for watching. And if you shared this out, thank you. If you didn't share it out, please don't watch next week. Oh, did I say that out loud? I did not mean to say that out loud. I thought, dang it, just got caught by a hot mic again.
I'll be doing the show next week, folks, by myself. Why'd you say that?
Why did you say that?
What's wrong
I'm
with you?
kidding. I'm kidding. It might take them a week or two before they feel comfortable sharing this. So, but thank you to everybody, seriously,
Yes.
for watching and sharing and being here.
Please let everyone you know, friends, family, about the show. We plan on having a blast doing this.
We do. We do. Eric said, don't watch next week. No, you can watch. We'll gladly welcome our viewers. So anyway, hey, join us next week. Me and Steve Rizzo right here. Conversations with Bob and Ken and Steve and Bob.
And if you would like to purchase the book, all you have to do is go to yourinnerbob.com.
Your Inner Bob
webpage. Yourinnerbob.com.
This book is unbelievable, for real. Go get the book. Go get the book. All right. Hey, we'll see you guys later. Have a great Sunday and go out and make it a fantastic week. Pretty soon we'll have an intro and an outro video, by the way. We don't have one yet, so you're just going to have to stare at us on the way out. Have a great night. See you guys.